Now it's rolling, that's okay. And the zoom is the top.
I am the youngest sibling in my family. I have a mom named Elaine, and I have an older sister. I have two older sisters. My father was named, he is named Peter. In 2007, my dad, he was diagnosed with lung cancer, and he ended up quickly passing from it, I believe 4 months after the diagnosis. I was only 7, so I've been alive longer than I've known him. I think just living so long without knowing much, it kind of gets at you a bit. There's so much stuff that he left in my house, and just since I was like little, like 8 or 9, I started going through his stuff, and I just kind of wanted to find out more about him. I hope I can do some justice and kind of settle my own soul to see what comes out of this.
I mean, he was like a goofy guy, whatever. He used to like do like this weird scream, like ooh. And I mean, after he died, we found like pictures that he photoshopped our faces onto the Boston Red Sox and stuff.
Loved his family, loved his kids. He's a good guy, kind. Red hair, blue eyes.
He had just a big kind of afro mullet of just bright red hair. I have blue eyes, or at least not brown eyes, and my dad had blue eyes, so I always kind of felt a connection with that, even though I kind of always hated my blue eyes. He always had really thick glasses because I guess his vision was kind of rough, and I also wear glasses now, so I kind of find that funny.
It was about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and your dad had to sit up because he had a hard time breathing if he was on his back because of the lung cancer. We were lying on the couch, and it was about 12:30 in the morning, and he had to pee, and he had a hard time peeing. What we didn't realize was that his body was starting to shut down, and that was one of the first things, I guess, that goes is he wasn't able to pee. So I had to go help him pee. We went and we lied back down on the couch, and I lied down, and then he lied down like on me in a way. And it must have been about 2 o'clock in the morning, and his breathing was very hard, and he was having a hard time falling asleep. So around 2:30, I said, I'll wake you up in a couple of hours and we'll pee again. So we lie down about 2:30, and his breathing was very, just hard, I guess. And then all of a sudden, he stopped breathing. So I thought that his breathing just became normal, but I didn't realize that he probably had died at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30. And then we were lying there, and around 4 o'clock, I got up, and for some reason, and I started poking at him. I said, Pete, let's get up so you can pee. I couldn't get him up, and his skin kind of felt funny. So I ran upstairs, and I woke his mother up, and I said, there's something wrong with Pete. And I ran back down, and I threw him on the floor, and I started giving him CPR. And we called 911 at the same time. I had known at that point that he had passed, but I was giving him the CPR. We were trying to revive him, And his father, he got all worked up, and as he was coming down the steps, he slid down, he fell down the steps. So we were worried about him as well. Not only did the ambulance come, but the fire department came, and also the police department came with the sirens on. They came, they tried to revive him, of course. They weren't able to do it. My big concern was you girls were upstairs in the bedroom. The couple of guys from the fire department went upstairs and waited by the door so that you guys wouldn't come down and see that, because it was a mess. It was a mess downstairs. So it took almost 2 hours for somebody to come and say, you know, that he had passed, sign the papers, and they took him out and brought him to the funeral parlor. So that's where it began, or ended, but you know, whatever. And then we had called Uncle John up, and then Uncle John called, and then it was like a domino effect, boom, 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 boom. And then everyone had come over, and finally you girls had gotten up, probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
I remember waking up and I was sleeping by a window or by the closet in my sister's room, and my mom walked in and she sat on my sister's bed and she said something along the lines of something's happened to your father, or something similar to your father's passed away. And I remember my two sisters like started crying and going to the bed, but I stayed sitting on whatever cot or mattress I was on, and I was sort of like shaking and crying to myself. And eventually my mom like motioned me to come to her, so I kind of finally broke down.
You guys were sleeping in my room, and I was wearing my nightgown that had rainbows on it. And then Mom came in, and she was like, something happened, someone died. And I was like, is it Dad? Because, you know, he had like cancer and stuff.
It still affects me, because there's always milestones. High school graduation, the prom, all of that stuff. Boyfriends, bringing the boyfriends home. All of that affects me every day, because it's just me. I didn't want you not to have everything that you would have had if your dad was alive.
One thing I do think of a lot is the fact that he had he owned a business, and there were points when I was like late teens and then like in college where I just like couldn't find like a summer job and whatever. So that definitely would have been different if he was alive, because I wouldn't have had to find a job. I would have probably just worked there. We all would probably be working there.
Everyone needs a father. Not everybody has one. I think you learn a lot from your father. You probably picked up his film habits, his musical ability. Everybody needs a father. Everybody gets something from their father. Not everybody is lucky enough to have a father. And you kids were for a little bit of time. But, oh, absolutely it affected you.
I donated my hair right after. And now I just can't stand to see myself with short hair. I got a little trim for a wedding, but she cut off way more than I thought she was going to. And I was already having like a bad week. But it just led to me like sobbing in my car afterwards. Like it was just weird.
Do you think like having short hair subconsciously kind of reminds you, or is it just like you
probably?
There have been a lot of mental changes with me. I suffer from both anxiety and depression. I think it's always sort of been a thing. But like I remember that I would sit alone at lunch for a good chunk of, I think, 8th grade. And I would just read because I just didn't know how to talk to people. And I think that was kind of when my depression kind of started. And one of my music teachers, he saw me because I think he was a monitor. And he just gave me a pack of stickers because he saw me being sad. And I think I still have those stickers somewhere. I never actually used them for anything just because I just thought that was really nice. My mom has been, I think, also like a pretty big factor in my anxiety. Like, I didn't want to let her down, and I never wanted to stress her. When I was, I think, 9, she ended up getting breast cancer, and it was, like, I think I got really scared because I didn't want to lose another parent. And so I think after that, I just worked really hard. And I guess I'm kind of smart, but that's, I think, all because of my anxiety. I don't know a lot about him, and I still don't know a lot about him. I know a lot more through this film, but now I have more questions. He went to Hawaii when I was 5, I think, and he brought back a ukulele, and I never touched the ukulele until high school, and I kind of consider it mine now. I don't think I'll ever fully know who my dad was, but I think that's okay, because I still love him nonetheless.